Number 9. What does your camera and equipment look like? So I know why this question's here, but I think nowadays it's maybe a little more irrelevant than it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It's here because...
Well, when they say... I'm sorry, I don't
Yeah,
mean
go
to
ahead.
interrupt, but when
No,
they say
please
look
do.
like, is it so it's not obtrusive?
Yeah, that's why.
Because
Because it used to be...
really asking like what you're using. It's like, is it big?
Well, right. Because there's a
Is
shift.
that-
There's been an industry shift. And you know about this as well. That in the back in the day, it used to be like big tripods, huge
Oh, yeah, that one
cameras.
that sat on your shoulder.
Right. Big shoulder mount cameras. They're very intrusive. Like, they truck them all over the... the dance floor. Big, like car lights.
Spotlight.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
still see shooters do it though.
Do you?
Oh yeah. I'll
Not
be at like a
with
banquet
us.
that's got like three separate banquet halls. I'll be like, doing my thing. I'm walking past, and they're in there with their big rigs, and
Yeah.
I don't see a point for it now. But
Yeah, I don't see a point for it either. But it is one of those things where those lights can be like, it's, they can be pretty heavy. It's
But
like
I
an
think
instant
there's probably
migraine.
that assumption as well that if you come with more equipment and fancy equipment that you're better.
I think it
This is not
depends.
necessarily
Well,
true.
if it's like a Steadicam or something, I know you run Steadicam, Tom. I mean, that's something where people, it is appreciated when people see it. They're
Sure.
like, wow, that's awesome. Or a drone of some sort, that's appreciated as well. Those little things add up to, a better film. And, so those things are important. But, what do you think, Tom? What is your opinion on this?
less is more.
I do think so, too. I think when you're showing up with a lot of
Less
stuff.
to worry about.
Yeah, it's less you got to worry about. I mean,
Bring the appropriate lenses and all that stuff.
Right.
But,
Yeah, but if you're tinkering around with like this equipment and that equipment and that equipment, you're bound to miss something.
that's true. But as everyone knows in this industry, people who work in it at least, that the type of camera that you're working with is not as important as the type of lens you are working with. The lens is the bigger deal. I mean, if you got some lousy lens that can't handle low light, then you can throw it on a Mark
I
III or
think
something like that. You're not gonna.
There's got to be a question out there, maybe not on this list, where I get asked, well, what kind of cameras do you use?
Right.
And then I tell them, and they're like, they want to know the brand and the
Right.
specific model, and
Right.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you know why? Because they're really scared. Is this really that good of a company?
Yeah.
Are they using the Mark III with the L series lens and the? You know what I mean?
We really shoot with a
Are you really-
Polaroid camera.
Right,
Film it
exactly. I
later.
shoot with an iPhone through a kaleidoscope. It's the best. You're gonna love it. It's an amazing effect. Yeah. So
Great.
camera.
Now you're gonna get people asking you to do that.
All right,
Can you do that? 'Cause
exactly.
I think that would look really
like
cool.
they do make like adapter lenses for iPhones.
They do,
Yeah.
and they actually look really good.
Do they
Really?
They
really?
do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. And look, they're in the film industry. I'm just gonna say it. Sometimes the best camera is the one that you have with you, and they tell you that all the time. I mean,
Well,
you
guests
better
certainly
believe.
think so.
Yeah, but you better believe that if there, yeah, but if there was a failure, if there was a camera failure or something like that, you better believe I'm going to the iPhone.
For sure.
You better believe it because it's 1080p. It may not be like, I probably still have my light going. You know what I mean? And I can still get a great shot
It's
off
good
of
for
that.
audio too.
Yeah, and actually, they are pretty good for audio.
I know we had someone
as
that
well.
had to use it for one reason or another. I don't
Yeah,
remember. And then the groomsman thought he lost his phone, and they're all
Right.
discussing like,
Right.
whose phone is
Well,
this?
that's because they're professional. They're actually professional apps you can get for the iPhone where you can plug
Well,
in.
he used it as a backup.
Right, that's true.
It wasn't his
but-
primary source.
No, it's not usually used as a primary source, but a professional will do what he did.
Right.
They'll have that on all those professional apps loaded in, and then pop their mic into it, and they're good to go. And so, it is. It is one of those things where hey, you're going to go to it if you absolutely.
If
have
my
to.
stationary went out for whatever reason, I would
Yeah.
have to take my iPhone on there
Yeah.
so fast.
Yeah, it's a great, it's a great camera on that phone. It really is. But it's not a primary camera, of course. It's not what you're going to be using most of the time. But in an emergency situation, yeah, you bet it's a go-to.